You okay there?
Jesus. I think I hurt someone.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
First of all, congratulations on this new installment of the franchise. My first question is for you, Vera, because in this movie we see some kind of new abilities from Lorraine. So I wanted to ask you, how was your experience on set, and how was your reaction when you saw those abilities take form?
Yeah, no, I was super excited to read that they were going to have a deeper, much deeper exploration into her talents and her abilities as a psychic and a clairvoyant. You know, being able to explore these other facets of her gifts. You know, not only intuition and clairvoyancy and telepathy, but really go to other facets.
I want to ask you if you've seen the previous movies and what you liked the most about them.
So I have seen the previous films. I hadn't seen them before I got the job. I was auditioning for a long time for this part, and I didn't want to try and, I don't know, play Patrick Wilson's part, you know, to play Ed or whatever might happen. You know, I'm silly in my brain and I'd do some stupid stunt like that. So I stayed far away from them. And then the night before I had to rehearse with them for the first time, I watched both of them back to back. But they're brilliant. They're so good. And also I was disappointed in myself for watching them. So I was like, oh no, these films are so good and I'm going to ruin it for everyone.
Are you guys already used to getting into your characters, or is there something new each time you do it?
I think both. I think meaning that they are like comfortable shoes you put back on. And also, I think a lot because of where we are in our own lives, right? We go off, we shoot other films, we use different dialects, different types of movies, whatever, you know, whatever happens, and you come back to this. So for me, I always feel like I need to rewatch usually the first one. I won't watch the whole thing, but I'll watch several scenes, kind of skip through it and get back into my speaking voice for that.
No, I just wanted to say that there is this pressure on me that I do feel. It's like I have to rely on the nuance of the script and the plot points, because sometimes it's like you don't want to get complacent in the performance. Like, how many times can you scream, right? You want to make sure that every scream is new and nuanced and exciting. So the portrayal of fear and the conveying of these emotions, like you also you gotta mine and dig deep so that it's not just like, oh, there's Lorraine screaming her brains off again or being frightened or like, you know. So that's challenging.
Did you do any research on the Warrens and your character beyond what you needed to for this movie?
Yeah, well, when I start doing a character, it's just so much fun to kind of imbue yourself in the world. It means you can listen to Spotify playlists of 80s songs, and so that's really fun. I don't know how useful it is because there's a real life case in this. Someone really died. We have to be respectful of that. But I was really just trying to stick with Arnie's story in the movie itself and not get the outside view of it, because he doesn't. He's in it. He's living through it. He's in prison for most of it. It was enough to keep up with all those thoughts. There was just so many different things to switch into, and you shoot out of order that what really happened, you know, I don't know. I don't think anybody does.
Do you see more horror movies in your future?
Yeah, I'd love to do another horror film. Maybe not like right away, but definitely in the future. I mean, but the problem is the Conjuring movies are just so good. You'd be very worried about doing a film that wouldn't quite live up to expectations.
This time, James Wan wasn't around, so how did it feel to be the experts on set?
You know, Shops felt like an expert from the second we met him. Man, he talked a sharp game. Like he has such a tremendous respect for James and his vision. But I gotta say, I think the thing that won me over immediately was like he just bubbles over. His joy cup runneth over. He just like he was just so he's absolutely in love with this relationship of Ed and Lorraine. It's the first thing he did was expound on how important they are and how they are.
No, I also think it's the perception of what, the thing about Shavs is that he's been watching the other movies, studying the other movies from the outside in, so his perception of what Ed and Lorraine are, in some ways it's more applicable to working because this is what I've walked away with from your performance. Do you know what I mean? Versus someone that's been a producer and involved in it and goes, well, this is what we were trying to do. But you've got a guy that's going, well, this is what I see, and I'd like to take this aspect and push it forward. So, which was great because we, of course, don't want to sit back and just rely on what we know. We want to be pushed.